global televisions on DSTV Channel 365 and Star Times Channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in full. The National Economic Council (NEC) has approved the establishment of the National Cotton and Textile Board to coordinate the planned resuscitation of the cotton and textile industry in Nigeria. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma said this while briefing journalists at the meeting presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Uyi Agbomofoegbe reports. We apologize. That report will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Former Governor of Rivers State Rotimi Amechi says the weakness of the National Assembly opened the door for President Bola Tinubu's constitutional breach in the country. The ex-Minister of Transportation disclosed this while condemning the suspension of Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, and lawmakers of the State Assembly. He spoke at the 9th edition of the Akinjide Adeosun Foundation's annual leadership discourse themed Fearless Leadership, a panacea for sustainable and organized. Meanwhile, River State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibok Etik Ibas, was expected to appear before the House of Representatives Committee overseeing the state's administration under the emergency rule, but did not attend the meeting. The committee chairman, Professor Julius Uhuberade, conducted a closed-door session with committee members lasting about 15 minutes, but declined to speak to the press afterwards. While no official reason was provided for Admiral Ibas' absence, he has reportedly been scheduled to meet with the committee today in the National Assembly complex. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed an immediate and comprehensive overhaul of the national security strategies, demanding urgent action to end the escalating violence in Borno, Benue, Plateau, and Kwara State. Kike Lomo Okere has details. We apologize. That news will be brought in our subsequent bulletin. Lagos State House of Assembly has summoned the chairman of the State Independent Electoral Commission, LASEC, Justice Bola Okikolu Igehile, and the commissioner of the commission to appear before it to provide detailed explanations regarding their plans and preparations for the forthcoming local council election scheduled for July. During the plenary session, concerns were raised by the lawmakers regarding the perceived rushed nature of the Commission's processes and the inadequacy of the released electoral guidelines. Chairman House Committee on Judiciary, Petitions, Human Rights and LASEC, Oladipo Ojumale, expressed strong reservations, stating that the Commission is rushing through the process with incomplete guidelines. The National Association of Nigerian Students have called on the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to extend its proposed mandatory drug testing initiative to political office holders and aspirants. The agency's chairman, retired Brigadier General Buba Marwa, had repeatedly proposed drug integrity tests for core members, prospective couples and groups as part of effort to curb substance abuse. Mara restated the call this week during a courtesy visit by the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, to NDLEA headquarters in Abuja. The Benue State Executive Council has approved the sum of 2.3 billion naira for the remodeling of the government secondary school in Ilu community of the immediate takeoff of Benue State University of Agriculture, Science and Technology. Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism, Matthew Abbo, disclosed this while briefing newsmen on the outcome of the council meeting. You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, World Bank project 3.6% economic growth for Nigeria. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You are welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Midday News on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the federal government, Securities and Exchange Commission, Africa and Middle East Depositories Association, and other financial market stakeholders have called for accelerated collaboration to enhance capital market infrastructure and drive economic growth. This call was made during the 2025 Middle East Depositories Association's conference hosted by the Central Securities Clearing System, CSCS PLC, in Lagos. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima, presided by Dr. Tokbe Fasao, Special Advisor to the President on Economic Affairs, emphasized the urgent need to reposition financial systems as engines of growth in Africa and the Middle East. The World Bank has projected that Nigeria's economy will grow by 3.6% in 2025, building on the estimated expansion of 3.4% in 2024 as key microeconomic reforms begin to stabilize the business environment. The bank says Nigeria is now home to 15% of the world's extremely poor people, according to its latest African Plus report released in April 2025. The bank's latest economic forecast, which is contained in the spring 2025 edition of Africans Plus, reflects a more optimistic view than that of the International Monetary Fund, which reversed Nigeria's 2025 growth rate downward to 3.0% in its April 2025. The President and Chief Executive of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, says he has accepted his appointment to the World Bank's Private Sector Investment Lab, joining the select group of global business leaders tasked with driving investments and job creation in emerging economics. In a statement confirming his acceptance, Dangote reaffirmed his commitment to fostering sustainable economic growth through private sector-led investment, noting that the transformative potential of such initiatives in developing markets. And on the foreign scene now, a normally bustling border crossing between Tanzania and Malawi was noticeably quieter than usual as a result of an escalating regional trade row. From midnight, Tanzania banned the entry of all agricultural imports from Malawi and South Africa in response to what it sees as restrictions on some of its exports. South Africa has for years prohibited the entry of bananas from Tanzania. Malawi last month blocked imports of flour, rice, ginger, bananas, and maize from its northern neighbor. An international summit on the future of energy security has opened in London, with stark opposition from Washington, which could policies to phase out fossil fuel harmful and dangerous. Profound differences emerged at the two-day International Emergency Agency meeting over the role of renewables in satisfying the world's trust for energy. Now, over to Uyagbo Mofwegbe, who is following the summit for Global TV. His report.
The meeting is happening amid global economic turmoil sparked by wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, as well as uncertainty surrounding U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs. For British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, this is a pivotal moment to sound decisive and send a strong message to Russia.
Energy security is national security, and it is therefore a fundamental duty of government. And I'm very clear, we can't deliver that by defending the status quo. Europe must never again be in a position where Russia thinks that they can blackmail us on energy. And until Russia comes to the table and agrees a full and unconditional ceasefire, we must continue to crack down on their energy revenues, which are still fueling Putin's war chest.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen puts infrastructure and interconnectivity at the very heart of global energy security, pledging that the bloc will next month, quotes, present a roadmap with concrete measures to phase out all imports of Russian fossil fuels, unquote.
We need to build grids, interconnectors and cables. We need to connect our countries and diversify our energy supplies. And that is what we are, for example, doing with the ELMEC connection between Italy and Tunisia. It will be the very first direct current connection between Europe and Africa. We need, of course, to work together to protect infrastructure.
Uyagbo Mofwegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
More than 60 people have been reportedly killed in Gaza, and casualties continue to mount as Israel carries out early morning attacks on the Palestinian territory. The Palestinian Civil Defense and medics said 12 people from the same family in North Gaza's Jabalia were among those killed in the Israel attack. The health ministry in Gaza reports that 1,978 people have now been killed and 5,207 injured since Israel broke its ceasefire with Hamas on March 18, 2025. In our sports news now, Remo Stars ladies have made history by qualifying for Nigerian's Women's Football League Premiership Super 6 for the first time ever after a 2-2 draw away to Abia Angels in a rescheduled match. The result was enough to send the Ikenna-based club into the playoffs with a match to spare in only their second season in the top flight. Originally scheduled, the match was halted in the 23rd minute due to heavy rainfall. Still on news now, Liverpool have one hand on the Premier League trophy as they seek the solidarity point that need against struggling Tottenham on Sunday that would guarantee a second equaling 20th English title. A draw at an expedient Outfield would take Slot's men 13 points clear of Arsenal with just 4 games remaining, meaning they could not be caught. Real Madrid forward Vinicius Jr. could be facing disciplinary action from World Football governing body FIFA following allegations that he co-owns multiple football clubs while still actively playing, a move that may violate governing regulations. The Brazilian international have been instrumental in Real Madrid's campaign this season, constantly delivering standout performances as the team pushes for silverware. Now that's it on Global TV Midday News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. And kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.